Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I am your ever-loving host, Jorty, and you find me once again back at the Ka-Pow Comics place where I work and do most of the things that pay my bills. I'm having quite a lot of fun with this at the moment because in the middle of a lockdown, we're actually posting a lot of stuff, so I need to keep coming in and shipping stuff out. And that also gives me an excuse to stand in front of my laptop and talk for 5 minutes about a random comic at you. And today, I'm carrying on what is now going to be a traditional let's read everything that Vault Comics puts out. This is Hollow Heart, by the way. If you're wondering why I'm now going to start reading everything that Vault Comics puts out, it's because I have frustratingly missed a few absolutely brilliant releases because simply you don't have time to read everything that comes out. And I've been gradually catching up through trade paperbacks, graphic novels and the like, and realising just how many amazing things I've missed. Currently, I'm reading The Savage Shores by Ram V, and it is spectacular. So I'm going to read everything. And this is Hollow Heart. Bit of a sci-fi one, clearly because there's some giant kind of bioengineered robot thing going on. But weirdly, the rest of the story of this bioengineered robot is a little bit lacking. And that is not a bug, that is a feature. I actually quite like the fact that it starts with this thing seemingly trying to escape and being stopped by somebody who then quite brutally inflicts punishment for the attempted escape. And then a gentleman to repair said damage, and a relationship seems to be starting to build. I think there's still some trust issues to come. There's definitely more going on behind the scenes and meets the eye, but there may be an escape attempt that could come up that might be successful this time. Now, that is pretty much the plot in its entirety. What actually makes this one shine for me is the characterization and the backstory to it. Now, as I said, there's not much in the way of backstory on L, this giant bioengineered robot thingy, but you do get a sense that there is a depth already there, even without knowing much. There's a lot I'm not going to tell you about because I don't want to spoil too much for you, but his reason for escaping, while never being made abundantly clear, is parceled in such a way that it just adds depth without having to go into too much detail. There is just the heaviness and a weight to how this thing, this creature, this being responds to the world it's in, that is like undeniably human in a very odd way. And then there's the Mateo character, the mechanic, the maintenance guy, whatever you want to call him, who actually comes in to fix damage. His backstory comes about through just a couple of evenings of talking to other people in the world, one of whom appears to work for the same organization he does. Another one is just a date he goes on. When we're talking about the date, actually, I want to do a little bit with the art on this one, because I've got to say, wasn't actually a huge fan of the art when I first started flicking through it. It seems kind of just a little bit, I hesitate to use the word lazy because there is obviously intent going in there, but like there's a lack of detail that really could have gone in some sequences to make it look better. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some really nice layout designs like that. I quite like the look of that one. A little bit of story happening in the crossover between pads, like a Venn diagram panel. Really enjoyable. But the one time you do get like some bit of detail which kind of like jumps off a little bit is that when he's on his date. And there is effort put into it. So it's clearly there is a lot of talent in there and a willingness and ability to put the detail where it's needed. So I've got to imagine there's a choice why some things are left a little bit smooth. Now, sometimes when you look at it, look at the robot design in particular, that plays quite nicely. It is kind of high-tech and smooth and without edges. So maybe that's like a design point when it comes to the robot or the creature. It's not just a robot. It's not, I don't think it's a person per se, but it certainly has feelings, and as a result, it makes it more impressive. This fact that it has these feelings and how it portrays them and how Matteo gets roped into it, which actually makes it worth reading. It makes it worth reading in a big, big way. Within a few pages, I stopped really paying attention to the bits of the art which let me down, and was more impressed by when they actually just jumped out and did an extra little bit of work, because the story is the selling point. The characterization is perfect. I should check out Aylor and Tucker. They have done such a good job of, through dialogue choices and through facial expressions and the way people hold themselves. There's like some good bits of just people sitting down in various positions, which just really allows the emotion to seep out rather than telegraphing it. There's no need to tell everyone, oh, he sat down dejectedly, or you don't really have to worry about things like that. It's all show, don't tell, in such an insanely good way. Thoroughly enjoyable. I think the only criticism would be there might be some people look at it, we can see that as a turn off straight away. I might not give it the chance it deserves, But to those people, I will argue, yes, comic books are a visual medium. Yes, the artwork definitely matters. In this occasion, all it does though is it doesn't make it fly off the page. It doesn't elevate it. That's what I'm looking for. It just does its job. And sometimes I've told you that is a terrible thing, but usually it's because a comic book doesn't really stand alone on its story and its characterization, so it needs the artwork. This one doesn't, so I'm willing to give it a pass. And also, read everything Vault Comics do. They're great. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm probably not going back till Tuesday now. We're not sure what's going to go on with our deliveries next week. There has been still terrible weather in America, as you're probably aware, and that's why last week we didn't get anything. This week we had loads. So we'll wait and see how it goes. Keep an eye out on our Facebook page, the Twitter, Instagram, whatever, Ka-Pow Comics or Ka-Pow Comics UK. And yeah, hopefully we'll have some stuff to do next week. Take it easy. Stay safe. Bye.